Now, the Sibos Talent Accelerator Route, known as the STAR program, recognises individuals who've made an outstanding contribution to their organisation and are championing gender representation.
The program offers an unrivaled learning experience that empowers participants by accelerating their knowledge, skills and confidence to thrive as future leaders in the financial industry. And I'm delighted to say that we're joined by 3 of this year's STAR scholars: Oleksandra Kucher, Prime Services Sales, Raiffeisen Bank International; Reyna Halaçoğlu, Assistant Manager International Banking at Aktif Bank; and Tomoe Hattori, Vice President of the Products Development Team, Global Transaction Banking Department at Mizuho Bank. A big Sibos TV welcome to all of you.
A good mouthful there. Well done, that was brilliant.
So we've got a full house.
Indeed. Oleksandra, I'm going to start with you. It's the end of day one here in Sibos. Tell us what's made the biggest impact on you so far across the themes and industry throughout this leadership here in Frankfurt.
Thank you. Hi, everyone from my side. And speaking on behalf of all the STAR scholars, I would like to say thank you for this opportunity, and we are all really grateful to be here. What really strikes to me is that Sibos is more than just a conference. And this phrase was also mentioned before at the opening. It's really a place where people connect, collaborate, exchange ideas, and by this exchange also shape the future of finance. Here, it's not only the ideas that become reality and innovation that comes to scale. I think what we can add as well is that diversity is what creates the culture at Sibos as well. And by this diversity, we create the voice of Sibos. So every one of us shaping this dialogue and then together shaping the future makes a big impact. And today, as never before, I really feel even more committed to this change, to this shift of scale, whether we talk about digitization, AI implementation, T+1, stable coins, digital finance in general. I'm really honored to be part of this big change within my organization and also outside, for example, as part of the STAR Scholarship.
That's really wonderful to hear, and we're honored to have you here in our studio. Now, Reyna, turning over to you, what are your impressions at Sibos so far? What has really stood out to you in the first day?
Thank you for this question. And actually, this is my first Sibos, and it's special to be in here with the colleagues from prestigious institutions and from all around the world. And I feel myself proud to see how women plays role in the finance sector, and to be in here with the colleagues that I have already know and work with, and to meet up with new partners is very special to me, because from each conversation that you have in here, you learn a different thing within the finance sector, such as I have learned different ideas about the innovation within this sector and the digitalization and about cross-border payments. And within the STAR program, it was a great experience in the morning to visit Frankfurt Stock Exchange and to see the heart of the finance in this vibrant city and to see that atmosphere. So I feel very happy to be in here and looking forward for the other 3 days. Thank you.
Tomoe, turning our attention to the STAR Scholarship itself, what has the programme brought to you as a high potential professional in our industry?
Yes, participating in the Sibos STAR program, especially after almost completing the first day, has already shown me how valuable this opportunity is. Working in global transaction banking, I find it fascinating that our business is not only at the heart of banking, but also lets us work in diverse markets around the world. And meeting participants from around the world in Sibos has exposed me to new perspectives and ideas, and I'm so excited about the learning and growth ahead. And what stands out to me about the STAR Scholarship program is the chance to discuss leadership from many different angles. So through this program, I would like to think deeply about what core values and mindset are truly important for a leader and define my own leadership style.
There's certainly a lot of excitement in the room, but Oleksandra, I would love to know, what would you like to see changing in our industry just to support more diversity throughout financial organizations?
Thank you, Olivia, for the question. I believe an important trend that already started gaining pace is that we include more mentorship programs in different organizations, mentorship programs that support not only women, but also underrepresented groups in achieving their career goals. Also, I believe that it's also not only from top to down approach that should be implemented, but also early career development opportunities. I can speak from my own experience when I started my career, and up until now, I feel in my first years, I have a lot of energy, I have a lot of interest. I really want to go there and grab and change. And I think this is the time where management and leaders in our industry are there to support us and guide us through this process. Apart from that, I believe psychological safety is an important topic. And what I mean by that is we do have fear. We tend to have fear as human beings to be rejected in a way while sharing our opinions. So the fear to speak up, to talk about innovation, about change in an environment where we might feel rejected in the end as a result, is something that maybe stops the pace of the innovation, whereas also the challenges that we face when being feared of how the status quo is. So I think if we create a safer environment by being open-minded and willing to change, then more ideas would also come and increase the pace of the change.
Yeah, it's worrying to think how many great ideas may have gone unrealised because of people's fear to speak up and make their opinion heard. Reyna, if I can direct the same question at you, what would you like to see changing to support more diversity in the industry?
Thank you for this question again. Diversity is an important aspect, not only for the finance sector, but I think for all the sectors in this century. And I want to answer this question by thinking of my team in Aktif Bank, because I believe it's a team that is diversified team, full of women and young people. And diversity should need structural and cultural changes. We should make it for people to easily achieve leadership roles, especially for women. And we should educate women to be good leaders in the industry and increase the employment of the women. So the research shows that the companies with the predominance of women tend to achieve better financial results. And as in my team, with the predominance of women and having a CEO as a woman brings our success and marketplace within the Turkey's FI sector. And secondly, I believe it's important to bring up different languages and different cultures within a team, because knowing your counterparty's language and understanding their culture enable them to feel confident on you and eases the way of doing business. And again, thinking of my team, besides the English, we have colleagues that can speak different languages, such as Azerbaijani, Germany, French, Spanish, and Chinese as well. That enables us to provide relevant and impactful solutions to our business partners, and sometimes we become friends with them by knowing their culture and languages. And also, besides these, young people we should give young people the power of work and to take initiatives. And I believe to give place to young people is important in the sector. And besides all of these, digitalization is important for diversification, especially for how institutions manage their transactions and compliance procedures by integration of API systems and AI systems to their transactions. They are they are more securely and making their cross-border payments more faster. And not only for the payment systems, these systems also should integrate it to compliance procedures, KYC systems, and fraud prevention. That increases the customer experience and eases of the business. So, in short, for me, the changing of diversification is with cultural, structural, and digitalization within the sector.
Wonderful. Now, Tomoe, as part of the STAR Scholarship, you'll have access to networking opportunities and development experiences. What do you personally want to get out of all of this?
Yes, I am very looking forward to the networking opportunities provided by the STAR Scholarship Program, where I can directly connect with professionals from the global financial industry and other STAR women like them. By exchanging ideas with people who have diverse knowledge and experiences, I aim to deepen my understanding of industry challenges and new business models and further broaden my own perspective. And actually, I have really had the chance to think deeply about my own career or ideal leadership style, as I am usually occupied with daily work. So at this time, I hope to discover the core values that will guide me when I take on leadership roles in the future. And by having conversations with people from various different backgrounds, I hope to expand my network and strengthen my leadership style.
Funnily enough, that brings us quite smoothly onto Oleksandra here. We talk a lot about leadership and empowerment in the industry, but with so many different leadership styles going on today, what does being a true leader mean to you in today's financial world?
Thank you for the question. You know, in true heart, this question even reminds me of, like maybe you also had this assignment at school where we were asked to write a short text about who is your example in life. And usually back then, when we were like maybe 10, 8 years old, depending on when it happened, usually the answers were like my mom or my father, someone who, yes, so someone who I admire, someone who I trust, someone who I can rely on. So these are already values that in our core are those who build trust between leadership, could build trust between leadership and the employees. Apart from that, interestingly enough, today on our agenda we had a talk, Leadership in a Different Voice. And actually the input that I received also resonated a lot with me. And it's interesting to see that I'm not the only one who thinks this way, where we were discussing different definitions of leadership. So there is one definition of leadership that is slightly outdated, where we talk about hierarchy. We talk about availability 24/7. We talk about control, ratio, and achievements. And then on the opposite side, we were presented a different definition, which is consisting of characteristics usually assigned more to female representatives, like, for example, collaboration, being more open and kind to each other, trying to build a relationship with your employees. So I believe that this emotional intelligence, that collaboration spirit, the willingness to achieve a common goal together that cannot be just achieved by being one single person, where you need a team, and building this trust is certainly a way forward. Because if I trust in my leader, in my manager, in this setting, I do believe that I am being I'm achieving my goals through being guided further. And whenever I achieve my goal into being in a leadership position and guide my own team, I think I would definitely put emphasis on staying true to myself, on being authentic, on being collaborative, on creating psychologically safe environment for people to share their ideas. And certainly I will just try to be a human being, not a robot, not someone who wants to achieve certain ratio, because by being open, by empower others and not just talking about empowerment as something that I have achieved at some point, I believe this is really the true success of a long-term perspective of the goals you want to achieve. So I've heard this phrase recently, I think it was a post on LinkedIn. It is a book, I don't remember who wrote this, but there was this statement: train people well enough so they can leave, but treat them well enough so they don't want to. And I think this is the key message that I wanted to share today with you.
I've also seen that quote floating around on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Now, Reyna, has working in the financial institutions department had any impact on your personal or social life outside of work? And if so, what kind of effect?
Absolutely, yes. Being engaged with international parties and to make roadshows to different countries increases my cultural awareness and communication skills. I've become more reliable on myself and more open-minded in the social settings. And besides these, where the trust building, strategic thinking, and communication are the keys of our business, they also develop my interpersonal skills. I've become more empathetic and more focused on social areas in the communication. And it changes how I interact with my friends and especially for my family. In the FI team, being in the FI team makes you to think out of the box. Like in general, in the finance team, makes you to think out of the box and being innovative. So being innovative and thinking out of the box developed my problem-solving skills. And in my daily life, I started to think more on my problems with an innovative perspective and increases my problem-solving skills. So I can say that being in this FI world not only developed me as a businesswoman, but also make me to grow as a person in my social life and cultural areas.
And Tomoe, Reyna just touched on innovation there. You, of course, work in global transaction banking. How do you see technology and innovation shaping the future in this field? And what role do you hope to play in these changes?
Yes, I think new technologies and services like AI, stablecoins, tokenized deposits, and such kind of things are already having an impact on transaction banking. And the adoption of ISO 20022 is also changing how we communicate and process information. And I expect even more innovation as these developments come together. And at the same time, transaction banking remains at the core of banking. So providing reliable and user-friendly services and supporting seamless global cash management and payments will always be essential. So I hope to contribute by connecting new ideas with the practical needs of our clients, balancing a passion for innovation with a strong focus on fundamentals of banking.
Well, our thanks to all of you and huge congratulations on your success. I'm sure we'll be seeing you a lot more here in the future in the Sibos studio. That was Oleksandra Kucher, Prime Services Sales at Raiffeisen Bank International, Reyna Halaçoğlu, Assistant Manager International Banking at Aktif Bank, and Tomoe Hattori, Vice President of the Products Development Team over at Global Transaction Banking Department at Mizuho Bank. Thank you so much for joining in and tuning in. Thank you.